Thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Newsroom series on Channels Television. I'm Joke Rogers here. The stories that we're tracking for you at this hour. We're in the northwest today, but first, a look at our top stories for the day. A joint team of emergency response from Lagos and Ogun State have decided to bring down the adjoining buildings to the recently collapsed structure in Baile Road, the Ajimo area of Ifo local government area of Ogun State. 3 people are feared dead after the 2-story building sank into the ground along Baile Road in Ajimo area. The incident occurred yesterday, triggering a rescue operation by emergency responders. The Southwest Zonal Director of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Said Akiode, says rescue operatives recovered 3 bodies from the rubble while 12 other occupants were rescued. He attributes the incident to negligence combined with the effects of heavy rainfall. He adds that the Ogun State Materials Testing Agency is conducting structural integrity tests to assess the safety and stability of other buildings in the area.
There has been some crack in the building, which they have been noticing. But as our people, they failed to inform the authorities in charge to take actions. And the thing cumulated to that, what we witnessed yesterday. Since yesterday, we have been carrying out search and rescue operations. Immediately the agency NEMA was informed, we activated all response agencies. And since yesterday, we have been on ground. Currently, we are now doing out evacuations. The bodies recovered have been deposited. 3 bodies were recovered, while 12 are rescued alive in safe custody. So what is going currently now is evacuation of the debris, and also the Ogun State material testing are currently carrying out integrity tests to really ascertain the viability of other buildings that may likely be affected. But the situation is very peaceful now, and while all research stakeholders, SEMA, NEMA, the local government, the state government have taken full responsibility of the response operations. The situation is calm and there is no cause for alarm. The agency is in full control in collaboration with the state SEMA. The support of La SEMA, the chairman of the local government is equally here with us. So we can see all hands are on deck to ensure that we have a smooth operation. So what we are doing now is to try to bring the whole building to ground zero for easily for us to cite if there could be any other thing again.
Well, to another tragic incident, building collapse, this time in Anambra State, where the government has sealed the site of the 3-story elite 5-star lodge at Amakwala, Orumba North local government area, pending a full investigation into the incident that claimed the lives of 2 people and left others injured. In a public statement issued on Tuesday, the Minister of Physical Planning and Urban Development expressed condolences to the families of the victims and assured that those rescued are receiving medical attention while investigations continue. The Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Mr. Chijoke Ojukwu, said the preliminary findings indicate that structural failure was the likely cause of the collapse, alleging that the owners and management of the building were aware of the defects but failed to act. Preliminary assessments point to structural failures as the likely cause, yet they put monetary gain over and above the safety of lives of the occupants. And that's according to the state government. And now to the courts. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has vacated the judgment that directed the Independent National Electoral Commission to deregister the African Democratic Congress and 4 other political parties accused of failing to meet constitutional requirements. In a unanimous judgment or decision by a 3-member panel of the justices, the appellate court held that the order which the Federal High Court issued to the electoral bodies on June 15 amounted to a nullity. In its lead judgment, read by Justice Abba Muhammad, the appellate court held that the High Court wrongly assumed jurisdiction and made the order on an incompetent suit that was filed by a non-juristic entity. According to the court, there was no valid suit that could have warranted the consequential order that directed INEC to derecognize the political parties. It noted that the trial court failed to properly evaluate evidence placed before it, stressing that proof that the parties won various seats in previous elections was ignored. It also held that the High Court acted in defiance of an order that directed it to stay proceedings in the case. It held also that the High Court ought to have dismissed the substantive case for want of jurisdiction and merit. Consequently, the Appellate Court held that all the affected political parties remained duly registered. It allowed separate appeals filed by the political parties and awarded monetary costs against the National Forum of former legislators which had filed the case against them. Aside from the ADC, the other parties whose registration the Appellate Court restored are the Action People's Party, Action Alliance, Accord Party, and the Zenith Labour Party. We begin with stories from Kebbi State this afternoon, as the State Police Command has confirmed that the abductors of a judge of the Kebbi State High Court, Justice Farouk Bunza, have established contact with his family and demanded 200 million naira ransom, while security agencies intensify efforts to secure his safe release. Addressing journalists in Birnin Kebbi, the Commissioner of Police, Umar Hadija, said the judge was abducted in the early hours of Sunday at about 1:40 a.m. by unidentified armed men who invaded his residence in Buza local government area shortly after he returned from Sokoto State. The police commissioner appealed to the public to remain calm and patient, stressing that kidnapping investigations require sustained intelligence gathering and careful coordinated operations. He recalled the abduction of the Deputy Speaker of the Kebbi State House of Assembly, Mohammed Smaila Bagodo, on October 31, 2025, noting that persistent investigations recently led to the neutralization of the gang leader and the arrest of another suspect, Ibrahim Abdul Wahab, both from Ilesha and in Osun State and Kwara State. According to the commissioner, the deputy speaker identified the neutralized suspect as the leader of the gang responsible for his abduction. He reassured residents that the same level of commitment and determination is being applied to this present case.
I want to assure the public that we have deployed all the resources at our disposal in order to make sure that we rescue the victim and bring him back to his family safely. And we do our best to make sure that the kidnappers who have already made the call and demanded the ransom to the family, they are taking ways to be open and to do all the checks in order to make sure that we solve this crime that has been committed. It is important, I think, for me to inform the public that the kidnapping investigation, it is time consuming, it requires patience, consistency, and intelligence. And that what we are doing is actually to make sure that we do our best to make sure that we rescue the abducted church.
And in Jigawa State, Governor Umar Namadi has launched a 6-year development blueprint for all 27 local government areas, setting a clear direction for grassroots governance and warning that performance will be judged by results. The local government development plan, covering 2025 to 2030, were unveiled at the Government House in Dutse, where the governor directed councils to align their budgets, projects and policies strictly with a new framework, with a strong focus on accountability and measurable impact. Governor Namadi said past initiatives, including the local government economic empowerment and development strategy, failed to deliver lasting results due to weak implementation and poor integration with budgeting, stressing that the new plan will prioritize discipline, data-driven decisions, and tangible outcomes for citizens.
Today's event marks a new phase of discipline, evidence-based, and people-centered development planning at the local government level. It reminds us that meaningful progress must be guided by vision, informed by data, strengthened by consultation, and sustained through implementation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is important to recall that Jigawa State and its local government have in the past undertaken medium development planning, including through the local government economic empowerment and development strategy, popularly known as LEADS. Those efforts provided useful foundation, but over time they were not sustained with the required consistency, institutional discipline, and linkage to budgeting and implementation. This experience reminds us that plans only make a difference when they are kept alive, regularly used, and peacefully implemented.
We head to Kano State, where the government has reaffirmed its commitment to eliminating mother-to-child transmission of HIV, hepatitis B and syphilis through strengthened antenatal care services, early diagnosis and prompt treatment. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Abubakar Labaran, stated this during a summit on the prevention of the mother-to-child transmission of the 3 infections in Kano, organized by the Kano State Agency for the Control of AIDS. He said the infections are largely preventable, noting that syphilis can be completely cured when detected and treated early. Our correspondent, Abubakar Salihu, reports.
Kano State Ministry of Health, in partnership with the Kano Agency for the Control of AIDS, is organizing this summit under the theme Synergizing Effort Towards Triple Elimination, Strengthening Investment, Innovation and Collaboration to end HIV, viral hepatitis and syphilis in Kano State. It's attended by government officials, development partners, civil society organizations, traditional and religious leaders.
Come forth to see how we can address the hepatitis response in Kano, working closely with the DGs and the DPA.
According to the State Ministry of Health, Kano's HIV prevalence stands at 0.6% against the national average of 1.4%, while the Northwest Zone carries Nigeria's heaviest hepatitis B burden at approximately 12.1%.
We're here today and the summit which is going to hold, and at the end of it we are coming up with other measures that the gathering will come up with in Kano. And let me also make a statement here that Kano State has gone a little far. I was formally informed that Kano is one of the very few states that have started this triple infection elimination in the country.
In his remarks, the Director General of Kano State Agency for the Control of AIDS highlights efforts being made to ensure proper elimination of mother-to-child transmission of HIV, viral hepatitis, and syphilis in Kano.
We organized this event to showcase what the Kano State government is doing in fighting these 3 diseases. You know, the WHO has given instruction for nations and sub-nations to commence triple elimination of HIV, hepatitis, and syphilis. These are diseases that are transmitted what we call vertical transmission, that is from mother to child. And HIV, there has been a lot of efforts in reducing prevention of mother to child transmission. But for hepatitis and syphilis, no efforts are minimal and attention is not given to them, and they are ravaging havoc.
Some of the development partners pledged their commitment to supporting efforts to eliminate the diseases.
This triple elimination summit has been one of the activities that Trinity Healthcare Foundation has carried out when we look at the gap, especially the gap that exists, especially for hepatitis B, just as Chai has said. If you look at prevention of mother-to-child transmission, you will notice that in most of our clinics, people do HIV, do hepatitis B because of the combo. But when it comes, do syphilis, but when it comes to hepatitis B, there is a very big gap.
The meeting reviewed progress and made commitments to strengthen collaboration on the triple elimination initiative. Abubakar Salihu, Channels Television News.
We come back on the Newsroom series. We head to Kaduna State, where free CNG buses become a lifeline for residents in the transport sector. That's in a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Concerns are mounting over what stakeholders describe as multiple and arbitrary taxes imposed on small and medium-scale businesses in Kano State. Players in the digital economy say the growing tax burden is discouraging investment and threatening the survival of many businesses. They made the call while urging the state government to create a more business-friendly environment that will allow entrepreneurship and innovation to thrive in the state.
Governments at all levels, the local government, the federal and state, to make it happen, to be supportive, because there are certain moves somehow, in one way or the other, to impede this type of development by bringing one levy or the other, even before commencement of a project. This is highly discouraging, and I think it should be addressed so that the ease of doing business, providing the necessary ground, is made possible by the private sector.
More than 3 million residents of Kaduna State have benefited from the state government's free compressed natural gas mass transit program over the past year. Introduced by the administration of Governor Obasani to cushion the effects of petrol subsidy removal, the initiative is helping thousands of commuters out with transportation costs while promoting cleaner public transport.
For many residents of Kaduna metropolis, the daily journey to work, school or the market is no longer defined by the struggle to find transport fare. The state's free CNG bus service has become a welcome relief, offering thousands of commuters safe, reliable and cost-free transportation every day. Launched by Governor Obasani in 2025, the initiative was introduced to cushion the impact of rising transportation costs following the removal of a subsidy on petrol. With 100 CNG-powered buses deployed on major routes across the state, the program is on budget-friendly public transportation. Every free trip also means money freed up for food, school expenses, and other household needs.
CNG boys is okay. It's good. It's helping us. For most of us that maybe our income is not that much, it's helping us.
I so happy because before I used to spend money, but since this car starts, I'm going to spend money. So we are saying thank you for Obasani.
People are happy for the coming of the bus actually, and there's the confidence that many will be able to come to office, to go into their work without any stress of you might not have to have transportation or something like that.
Not being easy, but the drivers, more especially this one, they used to help me very, very well when I'm going or when I'm coming back, because they used to lock this gate, this door. Then they will allow me to enter through it. So if the governor can replicate this and give at least people with disability and aged people their own bus, we will appreciate honestly.
During an inspection of newly constructed bus stops and ultra-modern motor parks, the acting managing director of the Kaduna State Transport Regulatory Authority gives more details about the benefits of the transportation initiative. He says more than 3 million residents have used the free CNG bus service in the last 1 year.
This bus stop, some have been completed and some are at advanced stage of completion. These bus stops have been equipped, as you can see, will be equipped with the ITS devices, where from our offices, even His Excellency can be monitoring where our bus is coming, and the activities that is taking place in each bus stop will be monitored through our control center in the offices.
Plans are underway to extend the service to Zaria and Kafanchan once the ongoing construction of CNG refueling stations in both cities are complete.
In Katsina State, the Community Development Program has recorded a major milestone with the renovation and rehabilitation of more than 3,900 public facilities across the state's 361 political wards, following the disbursement of 3.61 billion naira in community-managed grants by Governor Diko Rada's administration. The state coordinator of the program, Associate Professor Kamaluddin Kabir, disclosed this during a media party describing the initiative as a groundbreaking approach that has shifted development planning from government offices to the grassroots.
When we started, His Excellency instantly directed the disbursement of 10 million naira to each ward, making a total of 3,610 million to 361 ward. That money is meant for those communities to utilize it and try to repair minor repairs, minor items within their society. Maybe they have issues, minor issues with their schools, maybe primary health care, drainage system, maybe a little solar system. They want to lighten some maybe flash points, or some areas within the ward that suffer maybe issue of either disaster or something that they wanted to maybe renovate or repair. So those communities can quickly access their 10 million without following through the long bureaucracy to get funding.
The Zamfara State Judiciary has inadequate funding, and this is threatening effective justice delivery, with the Chief Judge calling for greater financial support to strengthen the courts and improve judicial reforms. The Chief Judge of the state, Justice Kalu Aliyu, says constitutional provisions on judicial financial autonomy have yet to translate into adequate funding. She says the High Court receives just 10 million naira monthly, which is insufficient to meet its operational needs. Justice Aliyu says the funding shortfall has stalled key reforms, including training for judicial officers and the adoption of virtual court proceedings, despite the directive of the Chief Justice of Nigeria. She also raises concerns over the lack of official vehicles for judicial officers, saying some magistrates now rely on commercial transport because no new vehicles has been provided since the year 2020. And finally, on the program, the Kebbi State government has conducted a mass wedding for 300 couples drawn from vulnerable families in the third edition of its mass wedding program. The program, an initiative of the wife of the governor, Hajia Nafisa Nasir Idris, attracted dignitaries from across the country.
This is the third edition of the Kebbi State Mass Wedding Program, which began in 2024. The ceremony is seen as a platform to reiterate the importance of premarital medical screening, as all participating couples were required to undergo health screening before the marriage ceremony.
There are lots of health benefits. Before these couples qualify, they are made to undergo health screening tests for infectious diseases like hepatitis, HIV, syphilis, as well as genotype, like to know if they are AA or AS. Genotype screening helps us to reduce the occurrence of sickle cell disease.
Organizers give statistics on the outcome of previous editions.
Your Excellency, in the first and second, we have recorded success rate, and currently 67% of couples have been blessed with children from the first edition. And some of these families are present with us today. In addition, 86% of the couples are living happily married, are living happily together, reflecting the positive and lasting impact of this initiative of Nafisa Nasir Idris.
You've done wonderfully well in this regard for marriage, for building 300 couples. marrying them and giving them startup gifts. May God Almighty reward you accordingly. May you never lack anything good in your entire life.
Speaking at the ceremony, the Kebbi State Governor, Mr. Nasir Idris, stresses the importance of strengthening family values, supporting vulnerable citizens, and promoting social development. He believes the program reflects his administration's commitment to improving the welfare of the people.
Let me also recognize my good wife, who started this project. This is the third year, and I want to assure you on her behalf that this occasion has come to stay, provided our government has come to stay. Every year this marriage, by God's grace, will take place in the state capital.
The Kebbi State government pays a 250,000 naira bride price for each couple, officially paving the way for the solemnization of the ceremonies by Islamic clerics who join the couples in accordance with Islamic rites.
Well, happy married life to the couples. That's it on our program. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jokia Rogers.